So what we're going to go over today's video is staying loose when you're fighting, training, sparring, hitting the bag, hitting the pads, all that kind of good stuff. So with that said, especially when you're fighting, you always want to stay as loose as you can, as relaxed as you can. And what now, you remember? Good, your true boxing stance. You're always loose in your true boxing stance. A lot of times, if you get a guy or an opponent that you can take him out of his game plan, you get him a little fired up. It can even be a seasoned fighter. Like for example, Conor did it with Aldo, I think. So he came in and he was like real stiff and heavy punches. When you're boxing or fighting, you want to keep your hands, your shoulders, your legs, everything's real loose, okay? You'll get guys that come out sometimes really tense because they're pissed off because you just got his Cheerios and messed his mind all up or whatever. The next thing you know, his hands are all tight, his elbows are all, it's just like this and that. What it's going to do is slow your punches up a whole bunch. Because with that said, everybody should know this too. If a punch goes out at 100 miles an hour, how fast does it come back? 200 miles an hour. So your punch is always going to come back double speed. But if I'm sitting here with my hands clenched and real rigid and like, oh, bent out of shape, that punch is going to take, for one thing, it's going to go 100 miles an hour out and 50 miles an hour back, so it's just double, so it just messed you up. And here's the thing not too many people know. Every time I throw a punch, you throw a punch, he throws a punch, that's when you're a target. Okay, so every time you throw a punch, that's when you're a target. Now, another thing that's going to go back to having loose hands, say for example he throws a punch, you can parry those punches. Parry, punch, so you can parry with the right, punch with the left. You can parry with the right, punch with the right. You can do a lot of different things with that. But if I'm here and I'm rigid, my hands are real tight, I'm not going to be able to do that. And with that said, normally if you're this rigid and you're this tight, I'll telegraph my punches. You'll be able to see because I'm going to slow down. You'll be able to see what punch is coming. But again, I'll use that Conor Aldo fight. That Jose came in stiff and you could see what punches he was going to throw. And Conor was like real elusive and light and just up on his toes and moving real good. And that's where Jose threw that lead hook and Conor reacted to it and threw one back and chin checked him and he won the fight, obviously. Hindsight's 20/20. So my point with this whole thing is when you go spar, even on the bag, on the mitts, shadow boxing, you want to stay as loose as you can, okay? Let your shoulders be relaxed, your arms be relaxed, and it's going to show when you start touching, when you start sparring and when you start fighting. You'll be able to touch your opponent a lot more because you're loose. So that's the thing. Stay elusive, stay light, and if you have any questions, have any comments, please let us know and we'll get back to you. So if you didn't know,
I know.
now you know.